Do you ever feel like life's rushing by too fast? Are you caught up in a whirlwind of activities, deadlines, and obligations, leaving you exhausted and unfulfilled? If so, you're not alone. In today's fast-paced world, many of us struggle to find peace and balance amidst the constant demands on our time and energy. But what if there was a way to slow down, breathe, and find meaning in the everyday moments of life? That's what we're going to explore in this video. Our modern world moves at an incredible speed. Technology has connected us in ways never before possible, but it's also created an environment of constant connectivity and information overload. We're bombarded with notifications, emails, and social media updates around the clock. The pressure to do more, be more, and achieve more is relentless. We're expected to be available 24/7, multitask like machines, and keep up with an ever-growing list of responsibilities. It's no wonder so many of us feel overwhelmed and stressed, but there's a growing movement that offers an alternative to this frantic pace of life. It's called slow living, and it's about finding peace and contentment in a chaotic world. Slow living isn't about moving at a snail's pace or rejecting all aspects of modern life. Instead, it's a mindful approach to daily activities that focuses on quality over quantity. It's about being present in the moment, savoring experiences, and prioritizing what truly matters to you. The concept of slow living emerged as a response to the fast food culture of the 1980s, but it has since expanded to encompass all aspects of life. At its core, slow living is about intentionality. It's about making conscious choices about how we spend our time and energy rather than being swept along by the current of busyness. It's about creating space in our lives for the things that bring us joy and fulfillment rather than constantly chasing the next big thing. One of the key principles of slow living is mindfulness. This means being fully present in whatever we're doing, whether it's eating a meal, having a conversation, or completing a work task. It's about engaging all our senses and giving our full attention to the present moment, rather than constantly thinking about what's next on our to-do list. This mindful approach can help us find joy and meaning in even the most mundane activities. Another important aspect of slow living is simplicity. This doesn't mean getting rid of all your possessions or living like a hermit. Instead, it's about decluttering your life of unnecessary commitments, possessions, and distractions. It's about focusing on what truly adds value to your life and letting go of the rest. This might mean saying no to social invitations that don't excite you, unsubscribing from email newsletters you never read, or decluttering your physical space to create a more peaceful environment. Slow living also emphasizes the importance of connection with ourselves, with others, and with our environment. In our rush to get things done, we often lose touch with our own needs and feelings. Slow living encourages us to take time for self-reflection and self-care. This might involve practices like meditation, journaling, or simply taking a few minutes each day to check in with ourselves. Connection with others is equally important. Slow living encourages us to cultivate deep, meaningful relationships rather than superficial connections. This might mean prioritizing quality time with loved ones, engaging in deep conversations, or participating in community activities. It's about creating a support network that sustains and enriches us. Connection with our environment is another key aspect of slow living. This involves being aware of our impact on the world around us and making choices that align with our values. It might mean choosing locally sourced food, reducing waste, or spending time in nature. By fostering this connection, we can develop a greater sense of belonging and responsibility to the world around us. Now, you might be thinking that all this sounds great in theory, but how does it work in practice, especially in our fast-paced world? The good news is that slow living isn't an all-or-nothing proposition. You don't have to quit your job and move to a remote cabin in the woods to practice slow living, unless that's what you really want. Instead, it's about making small, intentional changes in your daily life that add up to a more peaceful and fulfilling existence. One practical way to start incorporating slow living into your life is by creating daily rituals. These are simple practices that help you slow down and connect with yourself throughout the day. For example, you might start your morning with a few minutes of quiet reflection or meditation before checking your phone. Or you could create an evening ritual of reading a book or taking a relaxing bath to wind down before bed. These rituals act as anchors in your day, helping you stay grounded and present. Another important aspect of slow living is learning to say no. In our culture of busyness, we often feel pressure to say yes to every invitation or opportunity that comes our way. But constantly saying yes can lead to overcommitment and burnout. Slow living encourages us to be selective about how we spend our time and energy. This means learning to say no to things that don't align with our values or bring us joy. It might feel uncomfortable at first, but setting boundaries is crucial for creating space in your life for what truly matters. When it comes to work, slow living doesn't mean being unproductive. In fact, many people find that slowing down actually increases their productivity and creativity. The slow living approach to work involves focusing on one task at a time rather than constantly multitasking. It means taking regular breaks to rest and recharge rather than pushing through fatigue. It also involves finding meaning and purpose in your work rather than just going through the motions. In our personal lives, slow living can transform our relationships. Instead of rushing through conversations or half listening while scrolling through our phones, slow living encourages us to be fully present with the people in our lives. This might mean having device-free meals with family, going for walks with friends without any particular destination in mind, or simply sitting and listening to someone without trying to fix their problems or offer advice. Slow living can also change the way we approach leisure time. In our culture of constant productivity, we often feel guilty about taking time to relax or pursue hobbies. But slow living recognizes the importance of rest and play for our overall well-being. It encourages us to engage in activities simply for the joy of doing them, rather than for any particular outcome. This might mean reading a book just because you enjoy it, not because it will advance your career. Or it could mean taking up a craft or art form purely for the pleasure of creating. One area where slow living can have a particularly powerful impact is in our relationship with food. The slow food movement, which was the precursor to the broader slow living philosophy, emphasizes the importance of preparing and enjoying meals with intention. This doesn't mean spending hours in the kitchen every day, but it does mean being mindful about what we eat and how we eat it. It might involve choosing fresh, locally sourced ingredients when possible, taking time to prepare meals from scratch, and sitting down to eat without distractions. By slowing down our approach to food, we can not only improve our physical health, but also cultivate a greater sense of connection and gratitude. Another important aspect of slow living is reconnecting with nature. In our increasingly urbanized and digitized world, many of us have lost touch with the natural rhythms of the earth. Slow living encourages us to spend time outdoors, whether that's gardening, hiking, or simply sitting in a park. This connection with nature can help reduce stress, improve mood, and foster a sense of awe and wonder at the world around us. It's important to note that adopting a slow living lifestyle doesn't happen overnight. It's a gradual process that involves making small changes and consistently choosing to prioritize what matters most to you. There will be challenges along the way. You might face resistance from others who don't understand your new approach. You might struggle with feelings of guilt or fear of missing out when you start saying no to things, and you might find it difficult to break old habits of rushing and multitasking. But the benefits of slow living are well worth the effort. People who adopt this lifestyle often report reduced stress and anxiety, improved mental and physical health, better relationships, and a greater sense of overall life satisfaction. They find themselves more able to appreciate the small joys of everyday life and feel a deeper sense of connection to themselves and the world around them. Moreover, the impact of slow living extends beyond the individual. As more people choose to slow down and live more intentionally, it can have a ripple effect on communities and society as a whole. It can lead to more sustainable practices as people become more mindful of their consumption and its impact on the environment. It can foster stronger communities as people prioritize local connections and relationships, and it can contribute to a shift in societal values away from the cult of busyness and towards a more balanced and fulfilling way of life. This exploration of slow living, it's important to remember that there's no one-size-fits-all approach. What slow living looks like will be different for everyone, depending on their circumstances, values, and goals. The key is to start small and be patient with yourself. Maybe begin by identifying one area of your life where you feel rushed or stressed, and think about how you could approach it more slowly and mindfully. It could be as simple as taking 5 deep breaths before answering an email, or spending a few minutes each day in quiet reflection. Remember, slow living isn't about perfection. It's about progress. It's about making conscious choices that align with your values and bring more peace and fulfillment to your life. It's about finding your own rhythm in a world that often seems to be spinning too fast. So, as you go about your day, we invite you to pause and ask yourself, what would it look like to slow down at this moment? What would it feel like to be fully present? How could you approach this task or interaction with more intention and mindfulness? By asking these questions and making small, consistent changes, you can begin to cultivate a slower, more intentional way of living. You can find calm in the chaos and create a life that feels rich, meaningful, and truly yours. As you move forward, we encourage you to be gentle with yourself. Change takes time, and it's okay to take small steps. Celebrate your successes, learn from your challenges, and keep moving forward. And most importantly, enjoy the process of discovering what slow living means for you. We'd love to hear about your experiences with slow living. What challenges have you faced? What benefits have you noticed? How has slowing down changed your perspective on life? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Your insights could inspire and encourage others on their own slow living journeys. And if you found this video helpful, please consider sharing it with others who might benefit from learning about slow living. Together, we can create a ripple effect of mindfulness and intentionality in our fast-paced world. Thank you for watching, and here's to finding peace and purpose in the everyday moments of life. Until next time, remember to breathe, be present, and savor the slow moments. They're the ones that often matter most.